Good morning, San Francisco. Welcome to Free Talk SF. Today is Wednesday, July 8th, 2015. I am your host, Steven Zeiler. Please check us out at freetalksf.com for a whole history of archives. Today, just like every day, we are talking about freedom, empathy, and independence in San Francisco for all people in San Francisco. Today's episode also is brought to you or is licensed by the BIPCOT No Government License. BIPCOT license, it's a derivation of the open source license, free to use for anyone except governments. And now this license, the BIPCOT license, which our show here at Free Talk SF is covered by BIPCOT, does not use copyright as an enforcement mechanism, but it uses shame instead. So shame on you if you're using this program to achieve your goals as a government agent. And anyone else, feel free. They have agreed to be shamed for that, so have at it. Otherwise, welcome to Free Talk SF. Today we're talking about freedom in San Francisco. And, I've gotten in the habit of picking up the SF Examiner to scan through, or examine it, I would say, to find some freedom-related topics that are in the news. Now, first topic, not really freedom-related, but I love it and it makes me really happy. There was a mountain lion spotted in San Francisco 4 times. So over in the Presidio area, someone got to see mountain lion. That is just great. All right. Even better than that, though, is a new trend apparently that's emerging that is causing a bunch of the San Francisco city supervisors who, if you don't know the San Francisco supervisor, it's basically like this man or woman in your neighborhood who is a big busybody. It's like the big city version of the neighborhood busybody. And they have this official position, probably have a shiny, so shiny badge. And they get to use your tax money to make floats in the San Francisco parade. But that aside, supervisors worry about chains of alcohol sales. So, this is hilarious and a startling indicator of society, but Taco Bell and Starbucks and even Bed Bath & Beyond have applied for licenses to sell liquor because near the San Francisco ballpark. So, I used to live over near the San Francisco ballpark, and this is full of a bunch of crazy baseball heads who love drinking and making a bunch of noise. And man, the problem here is that the city has been subsidizing this huge den of irresponsibility and liquor that is the San Francisco Giants. And then they want to restrict selling alcohol nearby to the Giant Stadium. Now, this is an issue for freedom and liberty because, I was happy about California. In California, you can buy liquor at like 12 o'clock midnight on a Sunday, whereas in Texas, no liquor on Sunday. Liquor stores can't be open, and also there's days you can't buy liquor. Some counties you can't buy liquor at all. And California, you can buy liquor all the time, all over the place. Costco sells liquor. But the idea that we would even need a government license to sell beverages to our community is not really that useful. Now, I'm sure they want to do it to make sure they get their cut of the alcohol sales, but his supervisor very worried about Bed Bath & Beyond. And they say, of course, it's for the next generation. It's for the children. So we can't have restaurants selling food and drinks as they want. So if you don't like this is Supervisor Eric Marr. Maybe we should first of all look into Supervisor Eric Marr. Let's see what other kind of freedoms he likes restricting, and let's take him down. Let's take him out of his position if he hates freedom. All right, so apparently now there's a moving on to the theater section of Free Talk SF. Of course, the theater section brought to you by, well, no sponsors yet, but theater section. Freedom Land is playing in San Francisco. What is Freedom Land? It's being put on by the San Francisco Mime Troupe, and it is a play all about immigration, voter suppression, murder, racism, data manipulation, police brutality, war, and race. So all kinds of extremely controversial topics that people here like to not think about what's actually going on in the world, and how people are so oppressed. The war on drugs. You see, one of the main characters here. How am I supposed to fight the war on drugs without the weapons of war? So this is an interesting play. It's running. It opened over the weekend in Dolores Park, and it will be running through September at many Bay Area locations. The article claims that it is a family comedy, but it also is very dramatic and very dramatic toward the end. So that's an interesting thing. It's called Freedom Land, and it brings me to, I would like to see it, but it brings me to all the people here who are just like, nah, can't see what's going on. A lot of these people their parents lived in the city, and these aren't bad people, but they think that this place is like 100% free. I was talking to the cab driver last night. It was a woman, early 20s. Looks like she had just graduated from college. It was quite obvious that her parents had just bought her a brand new BMW. No license plates yet. Well done there. Don't need license plates. But, and she was telling me, I was telling her about the show, and she was saying, well, San Francisco is already the freest place in the world. No one has to worry about any type of oppression at all. And, oh man, there's a huge bunch of people here that just aren't looking around. They don't even, I guess they're not even aware of the war on drugs, which is killing thousands and thousands of people in California, in Mexico. California used to be part of Mexico, by the way. Some claim it still is. And so this was getting to me. For instance, how does she not? I guess she just doesn't. And she even admitted, well, maybe I just live under a rock and I don't know what's actually going on. And then, honey, that is completely true. I live here down in Haight-Ashbury, and I've been walking down Haight Street recently. Well, like every day, walking down Haight Street, and there's always people on the corners. If you don't know about Haight Street, it is like the epicenter of the modern hippie movement out of San Francisco, famous for the Grateful Dead hanging out here all the time. And there's like all kinds of hippie clothes shops, but also like bong shops, bunch of cannabis accessory places, and there's all kinds of people selling pot on the street. And unfortunately, there's no pot store. Like, there's all these shady people trying to like sell you pot before the cops show up, and there should just be a store right there selling the good pot. Like, no problem. It would be much cleaner. Everyone would have a better product. But the problem is there's this one police man. He comes up. He'll drive up. I'll watch him drive up his car real fast, right up next to a group of people. He'll usually like bump on the curb. Gets out. He's pretty scrawny. He's got those wraparound mirrored sunglasses. He'll get out, and I watch him. He intimidates the people. They're just like, they're hanging out on the corner, hanging out in hate, listening to like some jazz that's playing in the bar next door, talking to their friends, playing a flute or something. And this policeman goes in and starts harassing them every day. Like, this is what he loves, harassing these people on the street. And he'll take down their information, and he'll get them to provide government issued identification, and he'll issue tickets. Like yesterday, I saw him. I was going down to the market, and there was a guy on the street playing a guitar, and he was pretty good. And this cop pulls up, jumps out of the car, starts writing up the guy for playing the guitar, and taking his information, gives him a ticket, makes him sign. And I've been looking into this, and I'm pretty sure that well, first of all, you don't have to sign the paper that he hands you, because that basically says, I consent to this corporate set of rules that is the city of San Francisco, which none of us have actually consented to unless you sign something like that. So I wonder, how can we get information to these people on the corner to help them not talk to the police, to help them not give their identification and stand up for themselves being independent humans, stand up for playing guitars. So maybe I just need to talk to this policeman and see what his deal is. Because he's just wrecking the crowd. He's wrecking everything. And there's all these big double-decker buses that come by full of French, German tourists, people all over, Japan a lot. And they're here. They're taking pictures of the guys on the corner playing guitars and playing flutes, because this is where they come here for the Grateful Dead spirit. They come here for the spirit of freedom and love, and all we have is this Mr. Police Cop with his shiny glasses giving out citations. So I wonder who's causing this. I want to get to the bottom of that. All right. Well, we'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back to Free Talk SF. I'm Steven Zeiler. We are talking about freedom in San Francisco. During the break, my beautiful mother called me on my communicator device, and she wanted to check in, see how things are going. And she lives in Texas. She lives in Austin, Texas, and other parts of Central Texas. And we started talking about Greece, and thankfully for a long time I've been talking to her about the fact that when the big debt crisis comes, they're going to freeze bank accounts, and they're going to probably do a nice haircut on your 401k. And she, for the longest time, she didn't believe me at all. And then over the past few years, she's starting to see the signs. And now with Greece, they do call it a haircut. It's a nice haircut of 30% of your deposits over 8,000 euros. So if you have more than 8,000 in your bank account, time for a haircut. That's a nice euphemism for bankers stealing your lunch money. So she was starting to get a little bit more concerned about that. We'll see if she can buy gold in time and cash out some of that 401k. Even if they don't take out of the 401k, they're definitely going to destroy the value of the dollar, so that your 401k basically can't buy anything. Anyway, so we talked about that, and then she started talking about a neighbor that I had growing up, And I actually, during the Ron Paul Revolution, 2007, I believe, this neighbor was running the local Republican Party caucus at his house. So the caucus is like this meeting that people in the party go to vote on different delegates to the state conventions or the regional conventions. And apparently he was flying a Confederate flag out in front of his house now. And so I thought I'd bring that up because from all the people I've talked to here in San Francisco, that Confederate flag is the biggest insult. It's so offensive. It means war and slavery and debt. And they are totally deluded if they think that there's a difference between the Confederate flag and the United States flag. I mean, imagine the millions of people killed in the name of the Stars and Stripes. Now, the Stars and Stripes represented slavery for decades, many decades. Stars and Stripes have signed us on to trillions in debt that we never asked for, and the Stars and Stripes have caused many, many wars. So yeah, the flag, the Confederate flag. She thought it was so radical of him to be flying a Confederate flag. More appropriately, radical I think would be a anarchist flag. Nice black and gold. Love that anarchist flag. But anyway, you don't see any Confederate flags out here, and really, it is offensive. I mean, so are most of these national flags. And we should really be thinking about loyalty to our communities and our families and our friends and other humans in general, rather than nationalistic concepts, flags, eagles, all of that jazz. All right, so more intrigue. There's more intrigue with the story of the murder on Pier 14. If you've been following this, I have. And now, I guess it's a big story because it was in the SF Examiner, so that's my local news source. I don't do the television news. I don't have a television. Oh boy, where is it? All right, well, the headline was, if you remember the murder on Pier 14 just the other day, the suspect that they had in custody pleads guilty, and then the investigators discover that the murder weapon was a federal agent's firearm. All right? Get that. Federal agent's firearm ended up being the murder weapon that they found. So whenever people talk about gun control as a means of stopping gun violence, they always say, well, we need the police, the military, et cetera, to have firearms to protect us, but it's not safe enough for just people to have firearms. And then this murder happens, and it's a federal police officer and their firearm that were accomplices in the murder. Oh, man. So that's just, hopefully that illustrates some hypocrisy. We've got the same type of hypocrisy with the prosecution of Ross Ulrich. Ross Ulrich, the creator of the marvelous Silk Road, the safest online drug marketplace in the world. Silk Road, completely awesome service. I'm sure you've heard of it, probably haven't checked it out. It's gone now. Ross has been convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Ross Ulrich, he was arrested here in San Francisco at the public library down in Hayes Valley, I believe, or at a coffee shop, but I think it was a public library. So Ross Ulrich arrested in Hayes Valley. And for people who talk about San Francisco being totally free and, you know, who are they kidding? I mean, this guy makes a website that enables people to transact voluntarily over the internet and not have to go to like dangerous street corners and deal with dangerous drug gangs. all they have to do is order their, their medical plants on the internet, and no one else is harmed. And so the Silk Road, this was an amazing free market service. Ross Ulrich was shut down. I would love to see San Franciscans be really serious about freedom and about fighting the war on drugs. Not fighting in the war on drugs, but ending the war on drugs. And that needs to start. It's going to be really hard, but we have to at least work on the police and the sheriff here in San Francisco and make sure that they don't enforce ridiculous laws. Just like they won't enforce the ICE immigration laws, and they won't deport people who are here in San Francisco against the federal law, but city ordinance says they can stay. The police do not enforce the federal laws. And that's what we need. It's exactly what we need with the drug war. We need to not be enforcing the federal drug laws, and we should, of course, repeal all of the drug restrictions that are local and convince the police not to prosecute this. So if Ross, if the police were on our side back then, maybe they would have stopped Ross from being arrested. Somehow, I doubt it, but we got to get him out. So his appeal's coming up. Anyone who wants to participate, you can check out freeross.org, or if you have questions about it, email showtips@freetalksf.com. Oh, okay. So I'm getting a little sad, so I'm going to do a dance. And this dance is for Ross. I hope Ross the best. I met Ross Ulrich's mother the other day. She was very nice. Tragic. Okay, I was talking to some more people in the cab the other day about my platform for state assembly. And I've narrowed it down. I know I brought this up, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to practice. I'm running for the Democratic Party nomination for state assembly in order to create a coalition of assembly people from across the state of California to repeal the IRS. We're going to abolish the IRS. That's the entire platform. If you want to be in the coalition, your number one issue, abolish the IRS using a constitutional assembly that the states can organize themselves. So we need to get all the states, or at least 3/4 of the states' assemblies, their Congress, their state Congress, to repeal the IRS. And this is a long-term strategy, but we have to decentralize power. We can't have, it's just not going to work to repeal things like the IRS at the federal level. And I think the best thing to do, I might not win the race, but it's more important to organize, to get people to run from every assemblyman's district to run on the platform of abolishing the IRS. And I think there's probably such a small turnout for assembly primaries that we can actually get some good people in there and start getting some bills pushed up to abolish the IRS. And that would be just wonderful. Okay, and before I leave you today, I want to talk a little bit about a new Bitcoin wallet that a friend of mine has introduced me to. This wallet is awesome. It's called Bread Wallet. It's from the makers of the blockchain app, or it's from the lead engineer of the blockchain app. And the thing that's special about the Bread Wallet is with a lot of the current Bitcoin wallets for iOS, for Apple devices, the wallet is not stored directly on your device, but it's stored on some servers somewhere controlled by another party. So for instance, with blockchain, Your wallet is really stored encrypted on someone else's servers. And with Coinbase, well, it's more like a bank where they control the private keys and your wallet completely. With Bread Wallet, however, Bread Wallet is all stored on your device. So it makes a lot of privacy. It enforces privacy a lot more than most other wallets, and it allows you to retain independence as long as you have your device or a backup thereof. So Bread Wallet, I just checked it out, and I love it so far. Really nice wallet, and I want to try. Okay, and then I'm also testing out Multibit. So this Multibit, I believe this is a Java application, but it is a HD wallet for Bitcoin that runs on your Mac or other, I think Linux and Windows also. So I've been checking out this Multibit, and I'm gonna show it off a little bit. You can send coins, request coins. Let's see, I want to request $5 worth of coins, and let's see, it'll give me a QR code. Okay, I'm gonna test this out now with my blockchain wallet, and let's just see. I like to show people technology, and Bitcoin is awesome because it allows you to independently control your money. I'm all about independent money, and here we go. So I've got my device. I'll scan the QR code. Yeah, it populates here. Send $5, 1 cent. I'll send it, and let's see what happens. Multibit HD. All right. Oh yeah, look, I've got a notification that payment was received. Cool. 18.51 millibits. I guess that's the new denomination for Bitcoin now that the price is almost $300 per coin. So this wallet here, it stores the wallet on my Mac, and that allows me and me alone to control my Bitcoins. Anyone, well, unless you get access to my Mac, you can unlock my Mac and decrypt the keys from Multibit. You cannot stop my transactions from going through the network globally. So this is a great tool for independent money. And it's HD wallet, which means hierarchical deterministic wallet, which means you can use one secret key to generate basically unlimited numbers of addresses. So each payment you have, you get a new address, and that allows for significantly more privacy. So check out Multibit. This is a good wallet. I also use Electrum on my Mac. And please check out Bread Wallet if you have iOS. Bread Wallet. It's really nice so far, so do check that out. Thank you for listening. I hope let's spread independent money. I hope. Oh, I saw that Coinbase is hiring Node.js engineers. So if you are a Node.js engineer, you're good at that. Go work at Coinbase. Coinbase is a great company, and they need help building the future of Bitcoin and the internet of money. I'm tempted to, but I'm working on the same problem set at Ripple Labs, and I love Ripple Labs. And I have a lot of momentum there. So I'm gonna stick it out and build Bitcoin things on the side. So go apply there. I would love to see more of you at Coinbase. And if you have any suggestions for the show tips at freetalksf.com. If you would like to support the show, first of all, share the show on social media or give me some advice on doing social media. Give me some marketing advice. Share with your friends. Tell people about it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's really important. Subscribe to the channel. That's a great way to support. If not, go to freetalksf.com/donate. And we love Bitcoins. Bitcoins can help expand the operation and generally support me and everyone else building things like the independent San Francisco business index that I've talked about before, and helping build out a network of people who accept Bitcoin and are more independent. And as always, dance like no one's watching. Encrypt everything like everyone's watching, because they are. That means, if you have a Mac, you can encrypt the entire drive. There's an option. So Google that, encrypting, full disk encryption Mac. If you're Windows, I highly suggest that you quit. You gotta quit, gotta come clean on the Windows thing. They probably have good encryption too. And if you're running on Linux, full disk encryption, of course. So encrypt, use good SSL, dance like no one's watching, do some yoga, love your neighbors, talk to them, ask them, try to find out how they're feeling. Don't talk about like really shallow but slightly cerebral things. Get down to the feelings and the emotions. That's what I've found is the most effective way to connect with people and find out what's really nagging at them or what really makes them tick. If we can do that, we can connect with everyone here in San Francisco. We will make it the freest place on earth. Until tomorrow, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I am Steven Zeiler, freetalksf.com. Have a wonderful day.